Welcome to Seattle Public Utilities Ask Evelyn Live, where we answer your questions about recycling, compost, garbage, and other trashy topics. I'm your host, Becca Fong. And this month we have been showing a whole bunch of love and riffing on a couple of love song themes for the month to bring you different questions and different topics that are leaving your life. And this week's episode is called Everything I Do to Avoid Poo. And it's all about keeping things moving through the pipes and through the drains. So for our last episode in the month of love, we've got a really good question coming at you. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Beck, how's it going? Welcome back.
It's going good. I loved watching you and Gemini last week, which was fantastic. But I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, it was a good time. So this month we're still on this crazy 1980s love ballad theme, right?
It's true.
Say it.
So this week is everything I do to avoid poo. Because, everybody's got to tap into a little Bryan Adams and some middle school dance vibe.
Yeah, I think you would approve. That's good. So yeah, keeping the pipes clear. That's the goal.
Keeping it moving.
All right, Absolutely. Should I jump right into the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, question this week comes from James. And he says, "Hi, Evelyn. My partner puts leftover cereal, lemon peels, and all kinds of other stuff in the garbage disposal. Is that okay? I'm worried that it will clog the pipes and the drain. Thanks, James." Well, quick answer, Becca?
So quick answer is, even though it's called a garbage disposal, it's really not a good place to dispose of anything except for liquids. And so really all that stuff, I was thinking lemon peels, stuff like this, I've definitely seen things that say, go ahead and throw those in and grind it all up. It'll make your kitchen smell good. This stuff has a really good place, and it's in your compost.
Yeah.
So, all right, Pat, let's get into some of those details.
Yeah. So, we're all about diversion of solid waste. And we want to move materials from the garbage can into the compost or the recycle cans, right?
Yes.
The kitchen drain is not where solid waste, in our view, should go. It's fine to clean out the residual of the sink basin down the drain and flip the switch and do that, I think. But actual foodstuffs like peelings and leftovers, that's nutrient-rich material. We want that material to go into the compost. Exactly. I've got a little pail, a little show and tell as well.
Cute
little green one here. So the idea is, that's what these are for, folks.
Yep.
We want you to put all of your food waste that you would otherwise use your garbage disposal for and put in the compost. And that's where those nutrients can go back into that organic, circular model of food made, food served, food wasted, composted, and then back into our gardens.
Absolutely. And a little bit of a warning too, you hear from our folks in drainage and wastewater all the time. This happened to me. I lived in a house that had a garbage disposal, and I would use it, And what happened, unfortunately, is a number of years ago, we had a backup at our house, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we had the plumbers come out and they snaked the drains, we were wondering, is there one thing that clogged it? And they said, honestly, you live in an old house. We had about 50 years worth of little scraps of food, grease, laundry lint in there. And so really what you want to do, and let me tell you, having your pipes back up at any time is terrible. You do not want to deal with that. And so since we started, we stopped using our garbage disposal, we put strainers in to catch all of the food material and put it straight into our kitchen catcher. Yeah. We didn't have any problems after that. So just, a little word of advice. That was a sample size of one. Exactly. That's the exact kitchen catcher.
This is the one, guys. If you've seen the SPU outreach staff at a farmer's market or a community fair, maybe you have one of these actual strainers at home. This is the best. It's a total stainless steel unit. The sticker is added by the utility to kind of remind you what it's there for. Yep. I know this is in reverse. This is cooking oil and grease, clogged pipes. It's just a reminder that these are things that shouldn't go to it. So get yourself a strainer, a nice heavy duty, one that has small holes in it. You can kind of see those are those little holes.
Yep.
And really kind of catch all that food bit stuff. And so let's talk about grease a little more, Becca.
Absolutely.
What are the there's different types of grease and oils out there.
Yes. So definitely. So that was definitely part of the buildup in my pipes was just little bits of grease that were going out of probably previous owners, not us, putting large amounts of grease down the drain. So the two kinds that you usually encounter are cooking oil. So that's clear. It's from frying chicken or frying fish. That's what I would usually do. And with that, really even small amounts, you don't want any of it to go down the drain if you can avoid it. if you can put small amounts, I would say a tablespoon or less, you can go ahead and pour it into your compost, just small amounts, making sure that it kind of gets absorbed.
Right.
If you have large amounts, so we have a really awesome program where through our special item pickup, it is a free collection. You do not have to schedule it. So it's right there. Pat's got you guys hooked up with the details. So you can see you put out up to 2 gallons labeled next to your recycle cart on collection day, and we will pick them up. And Pat, you know a little bit more about what happens after that because of the commercial work that you do. So when when that gets picked up.
Yeah, cooking grease, cooking oils that are collected either from the residential program, like is available to all customers via the Where Does It Go guide and going online and requesting that, or in the commercial sector, it's a lot more grease, a lot more volume from some of these deep fry operations out there. So all this material is collected by vendors in the region, and there's several of them, and they basically pull this material in and they reprocess it into biodiesel. So it's a great, again, it's another nutrient-rich item that has inherent value, and so pouring it down the drain is just not an ideal thing for your own pipes, for your own system, and for the ecosystem of all these materials that we're all living amongst. I mean, we want to really move materials, these resources, into the proper channels so that they can be recirculated back into a better. Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, I think that's awesome that they're able to collect that and turn that into a fuel, which is pretty awesome. The other kind of grease that you encounter is kind of what you think of as like grease. I think of it as like bacon grease.
Right.
And really none of that should go down your drain. That stuff is really terrible because it hardens at room temperature and that's just sticking in your pipes, and that's just horrible stuff. So again, a tiny amount, I'd say a tablespoon or less, can go into your compost. Realistically, if you want to throw it away, I would just pour it into a container, let it cool, can it, cool it, trash it. You can put it into something and just throw it in the garbage because it's not a value add for compost. It's too hard to refine into a biodiesel.
And we're talking about volumes of material too. If there's a little residue in the frying pan after I fry an egg and some bacon or something like that, then I will just paper towel wipe that pan out, put that in the compost, which is okay. And then that little residue that's left in the pan, I will hot water wash and it will go down the drain.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't take right off the oven into the sink and hot water, dissolve it. And then, once it gets past that heated section of the warm water, it's just going to solidify inside your pipes. It's going to be a mess. So, out of sight is not out of mind. It'll come back to you.
It will. And let me tell you, no good. Nobody wants a backup in their house. It is gross.
That's why, having some paper towels around is, I don't use paper towels for kitchen wipe ups of moisture and liquid on the counter stuff. We just use our dish rags or hand towels or what have you. But we just keep the paper towels for these moments when we just need something to transfer grease, from the edge of a frying pan into the compost, because those are both compostable items, the grease and the paper towel together. Yeah.
Absolutely. So James, as a quick recap, don't put anything in your garbage disposal. Talk to your partner and be like, you've got the perfect tool. You've got your kitchen container. We provide these services. Every resident in Seattle is going to have this. Dump it right in there. Get one of those strainers that Pat's got. I got one of those too. I just knock it straight into here, when I'm done doing the dishes for the day. And then, with little bits of grease, you can put a tablespoon or less into your compost. Cooking oil can go out for special item pickup.
That's right.
There's more information on the Where Does It Go tool, as always. And bacon grease, can it, cool it, trash it, go ahead and throw that away. Or you can go old school and, leave it on your stove, and you can take a little dish of that and use that to fry your next set of eggs.
Yeah, that's Mama's kitchen right there. That's what we're talking about.
That's some good stuff. So, all right, James, thank you so much for that question. And it's a really important one. I love when things intersect for solid waste and drainage because it's important things and it's news you can use, folks, right?
It saves water too. It saves water as well. So let's just, let's get them all in the mix here. It's water,
get it all
and salt all together.
Exactly.
One
big happy,
one big all together.
Nice, Pat.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, folks, so we're going to have some good links for you about just how to deal with with cooking oil and grease as well, because that special item pickup is a good one. And keep that cooking oil in circulation and turn it into a fuel. So for reminders this week, we have something real exciting that we're previewing. So you got to enjoy the presence of Gemini, who is one of our production team, and he joined Pat last week, and he's joined us a couple of times. He is going to be joining us all month long for the month of March, because Ask Evelyn, this team right here, people, we are going to get into a really, really, really fun activity. Taking a page from the college basketball playbook, we are going to do Recycle Madness, because we hear from you guys questions all the time, and we decided it would be awesome to take all of your questions and rank them to figure out what is the most maddening thing in Seattle to recycle. So it's going to be real, folks. We are going to have the big reveal. It's going to be next week. Tune in next week on Wednesday. We got a bracket for you guys to play along. We wanted you guys to test your waste nerd knowledge, see if you can figure out what the most maddening item is going to be.
Yeah,
so
we want you to tell us what the most maddening item is.
Yes.
And there's 32 items in this bracket to choose from. We've selected the most maddening items we can come up with that we get the most questions about.
Yes.
So it's your chance to compare your maddening experiences with recycling with our Recycle Madness bracket.
Absolutely. So we hope that you guys will tune in. We will have links to more information about how that's going to run down, how the month of March is going to look. Those of you who are familiar with March Madness, you'll see some familiarity. It's going to be super fun. And of course, it's all about having things run on your questions, because we love hearing from you guys. Which, thinking of, we've got a question here in the chat. It says, I have been watching a TikTok who renders her beef fat tallow and saves them for cooking oils and other products. It's so awesome. So that's a great comment, not a question. Absolutely. I think that if you could reuse that item, absolutely.
That's right. I mean, it's the comment you made earlier, Becca, about saving the bacon grease. I mean, I think my mother's done it for years. You just have a dedicated, old coffee mug for the cooking grease, and then you can kind of scoop out of there and start the next meal with it. I mean, that's definitely great reuse. It's better than, having to purchase cooking oil or Crisco or whatever you might purchase. It's an option. You don't have that flavor for every dish, but it's an option to bring into the mix.
I don't know, bacon flavor. I mean, like that's.
How can you not? Yeah.
It's hard to pass up. So, we have someone who is actually really excited to play. We are super excited, and it's going to be super duper fun. The production team has been working really hard on this, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And remember, keep sending us your questions, because this show is run on your question, including Recycle Madness. And you can send them to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also send them to askevelyn@seattle.gov. And always look stuff up on the Where Does It Go tool if you've got questions, because that's feeding into the Recycle Madness bracket as well. So, all right, folks, we will see you next week. We hope all of you can tune in. It'll be super fun, and, keep those questions coming. So we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And with that, I'm Becca Fong, and life's better with less stuff.
And I'm Pat Kaufman. Remember to recycle right. And see you next week for Recycle Madness.
All right, it's on, people.